Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is Friday, October 27th, 2023. We have made it to Friday.
Finally, toward the end of that week.
Yes, yeah. And bringing some cold temperatures, isn't it?
Unfortunately,
yeah. It's going to be a cool weekend.
It is. It's going to feel a lot more like the early winter season.
Yeah,
you know. So get ready for that. I think you're going to have to break out the winter clothes early here.
Maybe the snow shovel too? Are we going to get that much snow? Okay, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It may not even accumulate either.
Okay.
You know, some of that wet snow and stuff like that is what we're talking about here as we head into this weekend potentially in some spots. But right now we are just tracking some showers down into the Prairie du Chien. You've recently just been picking up on some moderate rainfall activity there in La Crosse and Monroe counties. We're looking at some light scattered showers here this morning around the Castron and Sparta area, but that's about it. The rest of us are looking pretty dry with cloudy skies, and as you can see, the motion is towards the northeast here currently. Let's take a look now at your planner. We start off cloudy with some showers early on today. Mostly cloudy skies could linger into the early afternoon, but there is a possibility we could see some sunshine though between around 3 to 5 o'clock, with those temperatures dropping like a rock throughout the day. Temperatures dropping into the 40s as we head into this afternoon. Some scattered showers are possible for the morning walks and also into the afternoon. Maybe some drier conditions though by this evening. I'll have a check on that schoolcast plus another check on that full weather forecast in a few minutes, and we'll time out the details as far as maybe the snow here as we head into the weekend. Alexandria?
See you then, Derek. Thank you. Let's get to some news this morning now. A man wanted for a violent home invasion earlier this month is now in custody. According to officials from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, this man, Anthony Sylvester IV, was taken into custody yesterday afternoon. He's accused of a home invasion in the village of Hickston on October 12th. He allegedly had a firearm and stabbed a person that was inside of the home. This story is still developing. Jackson County officials expect to release more details soon. When they do, we will bring you that update. A former Menominee School District staff member is accused of having sex with a student. 22-year-old Quinton Williams faces 3 felony counts of sexual assault of a student. He's held on a $5,000 cash bond and cannot have any contact with the 16-year-old victim. He also can't have unsupervised contact with anyone under 18 and is banned from school property. A man accused of firing at police won't be heading to trial anytime soon. The defense attorney for Curtis Ross has asked for more time to review video before a trial date is set. A judge approved that request and set another status hearing for February 29th. Ross was sentenced to nearly 7 years last September for drug and gun convictions. Police say earlier that year, Ross stole his girlfriend's truck and fired a gun at a squad car. When they arrested him, police found a gun, cash, and drugs on him. La Crosse was buzzing with renewable energy excitement last night as top clean power players gathered for a high-stakes roundtable. Former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes hosted the event at Western Technical College to talk about the new clean energy landscape. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall was there and brings us a closer look.
During a roundtable discussion in La Crosse today, former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes shared his vision on Wisconsin's clean energy future.
We want to make sure that there is a just transition for anybody who may be employed in fossil fuel industry to have an opportunity, if not first dibs, at employment in clean energy.
Opportunity in places like wind and solar. But with the Inflation Reduction Act estimated to pump an additional $4 billion into the state over the next 7 years, Barnes says the time to act is now.
We want to make sure that there is a just transition for anybody who may be employed in fossil fuel industry to have an opportunity, if not first dibs, at employment in clean energy.
Some of those jobs include manufacturing. Rep. Jill Billings says she's seeing this all throughout the state.
Like in Manitowoc, we're creating turbine blades. We could do some more of future investment. A train company right here in La Crosse, Wisconsin, they're making a more efficient heat pump.
In 2019, La Crosse city leaders adopted a goal to move away from fossil fuels by the year 2050. It's a good start, but Barnes says more investments need to be made in clean energy generation.
Right now, about 60%, maybe a little bit less at this point, of our energy comes from coal. That coal doesn't come from Wisconsin, it comes from West Virginia. And it's time to put our people to work, have energy that's generated right here in Wisconsin.
That was Jeremy Wall reporting. Other politicians, including Representative Billings, support having more union-paying jobs. She says another way we can transition to clean energy is by having more EV chargers in the state, including on Great River Road. Over the next 3 years, the amount of renewable energy on Wisconsin's grid is expected to double. Community business leaders flock to the Reinhardt Center at Viterbo University to learn more about diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Greater La Crosse Area Diversity Council, or GLADSE, held its 12th annual conference yesterday. This year's theme is fostering inclusive leadership and wellness. The conference featured multiple lectures and a panel discussion with local leaders, including La Crosse Mayor Mitch Reynolds. GLADSE's executive director says a diverse workplace is the key to a successful business.
It's important that leaders are aware of how they want to lead and how we can diversify the workplaces in the La Crosse area.
One of the key takeaways from the conference was how each person in the workplace is responsible for creating an effective and equitable place to work. To learn more on how you can become a member of GLADSE, you can visit our website, news8000.com. Happening today, the Tomah VA Medical Center will host a trunk or treat from 1 until 2:30 this afternoon. The free event will be in the parking lot between buildings 455 and 405 off of 4th Street in Tomah. The VA encourages everyone who attends the event to dress up in their best costumes. A beloved museum in Fountain City closed its doors last year, leaving behind one of the largest collections of vintage toys in the world. Now the museum's owners are selling the collection at auction. Elmer's Auto and Toy Museum opened back in 1994 after Elmer Duhlman's love for collecting took on a life of its own. Since his passing in 2019, his family decided it's time to pass his passion into the hands of others. News 8's Emily Brown has the story for us.
There's small stuff, big stuff, ride-ons.
For a kid growing up in Wisconsin, this was a dream come true.
He built several buildings and filled one, went on, built a second building, filled it. He started figuring out he could go up the walls and in between.
And before you knew it, there were enough toys in Elmer Duhlman's collection to fill a museum.
There's tether racers, there's Japanese tin, there's German tin, there's pre-war.
We even got a news station truck right here, CBS TV. And turn an ordinary Wisconsinite into an expert.
He was one of the nationally recognized experts in toy collecting.
For 28 years, the collection drew visitors off the beaten path and down the scenic back roads of Fountain City.
He was in his element, sitting out here with all the museum visitors and sitting and talking.
Until a day in 2019 when Elmer's time came to pass.
He said, "No, you'll run it for me for a while." And he said, "But I don't expect you to do it forever." He says, "So when any one of you doesn't want to do it," he says, "that's the time."
The family did just that, running the museum on their own a few years. But now they say it's time to pass the collection on. They've hired Milestone Auctions in Willoughby, Ohio, to sell the collection in a series of auctions over the next 3 years. Owner Miles King says Elmer's collection will be one of their best auctions yet.
We've had a lot of action for the last couple of weeks since it's went live. A lot of people visited the museum over the years, so they want to be able to buy something from it. And, it's kind of like a historical thing. It's probably one of our best sales we've had to date so far.
And collectors are willing to bid a pretty penny for Elmer's prized collection, as much as $15,000 for the best of the best.
A Tonka Highway set, that's the Big Mike set, that's going to be probably the leader of the sale, which we're speculating that does anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000.
But no price compares to the memories Les and his siblings have growing up in a wonderland of toys and watching their dad do what he loved most.
Knowing the effort and the hours and everything that went into it, we know we're following what he wanted done, and because he wants it back out in collectors' hands.
In Fountain City, Emily Brown, News 8 Now.
The first in the series of auctions will start tomorrow at 10 a.m. Interested buyers can bid in person or online at milestoneauctions.com. We'll have that information posted for you at news8000.com. Still ahead on your morning news, data from the Commerce Department shows that the economy grew by nearly 5% in the third quarter of 2023. We'll look at the numbers and why economists don't expect it to last in just a few minutes. And the United Auto Workers have reached a tentative deal with major automaker Ford. We'll take a look at what's covered in the tentative deal after the break. That and more coming up this morning. Every morning we send you to break with something to put the good in your morning, but with Halloween right around the corner, we're doing things a bit differently, so rise and shiver. Here's a little something to put the spooky in your Friday morning. When witches go riding and black cats are seen, the moon laughs and whispers it's near Halloween. Today is National Black Cat Day. It's a day to appreciate these felines who are unfairly associated with witches and bad luck. Because of these superstitions, black cats are often the targets of violence, especially around Halloween. They're also less likely to be adopted than other cats, but black cats are just as lovable and weird as all the others. Notable black cats include Willie, who lived in the Bush White House, and Gladstone, who is the chief mouser of the UK Treasury Department. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Scattered showers do continue across the Coulee region this morning, as you can see on the live Doppler radar. We are tracking some heavy downpours near Prairie du Chien and especially near Eastman there in portions of Crawford County. And as we move north into Monroe County, we're looking at some scattered showers here as well, right near the Sparta area and near the Tomah and Wilton area here this morning. But other than that, conditions are looking fairly dry, looking at some cloudy skies that continue to move their way towards the northeast, along with some of those spotty showers here as well. Let's take a look at your zone forecast for today. La Crosse County are high temperatures into the 60s, but that's happening though this morning because as we progress throughout the day, these temperatures that you see here on your screen are just going to fall. So enjoy it here across our southern communities. We'll be in the 60s this morning. Same across our central zones with highs into the mid to upper 50s in some spots, low 50s elsewhere in the Chippewa Valley this morning before dropping throughout the day, which we'll talk about in a second. Some scattered showers off to school this morning. Pack that umbrella handy here with you. And on the way back home, I think you're going to need the jacket because temperatures will be dropping to 45 degrees under mostly sunny skies. I'll have a check on that full weather forecast again coming up in a few minutes. We'll time out the temperatures along with maybe even some snow here as we head into this week, and all that and more in just a bit.
In your consumer news this morning, the U.S. economy continues to see robust growth. According to new numbers from the Commerce Department, the economy grew by 4.9% in the third quarter of 2023. The growth comes despite persistent inflation and some of the highest interest rates the nation has seen since 2000. Experts warn the growth may be challenged by surging bond yields and the resumption of student loan repayments. Uber and autonomous car company Waymo have announced they'll partner to provide driverless rides. Uber users in Phoenix can now catch a robotaxi to their destination. Those who don't want a driverless vehicle can still request a human driver. As autonomous cars become more available in the U.S., a growing number of transportation experts and first responders are expressing safety concerns. Waymo says its vehicles have driven more than 1 million miles and only been in 2 major accidents. There has been a breakthrough in the UAW's 41-day strike against the big 3 automakers. The union is telling striking Ford workers to go back to work after the UAW and Ford reached a tentative contract agreement. Chris Van Cleve reports.
We told Ford to pony up, and they did.
UAW President Shawn Fain delivered a video message to Ford workers late Wednesday, saying their 6 weeks on the picket lines made the tentative agreement possible.
We send this contract to you because we know it breaks records.
Union leaders say the 4.5-year deal includes a 25% wage increase with cost of living adjustments and improvements in retirement benefits as well as job security. Previously, the big 3 automakers were offering a raise of 23%.
UAW members at Ford will receive more in straight general wage increases over the next 4.5 years than we have over the last 22 years combined.
It's an unambiguous big win for the UAW.
Still, auto economist Patrick Anderson says the economic losses from the strikes are now more than $9 billion and growing.
You know, without question now, GM and Chrysler are going to be pressured to agree to substantially the same terms.
The UAW says having Ford employees return to the assembly line as the tentative deal is approved will put pressure on GM and Stellantis to match Ford's offer. That's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check back in with Derek for today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that, Alexandra. We are still tracking some showers on the radar this morning. These are mainly focused down to the south as far as where some of the heavier showers are located. Right into Crawford County is where we're seeing some of these heavy showers currently moving through around the Prairie du Chien and also up towards the Gays Mills area. And you can see there is still some more back towards the south of that. This shower is moving up towards Richland County now. It should be there within the next hour or so. We're also watching some light showers near Monroe County, just north of I-90 and also north of Sparta, south into the Warrens areas where we're tracking those as well this morning. The rest of us just dealing with cloudy skies, a spotty shower or so, and you can see all this activity moving its way towards the northeast in association with this trough of low pressure. This is the same system that we've been dealing with over the last several days, giving us the cloudy, moist conditions along with some of those showers. You can see there is a frontal boundary associated with it as well, currently moving through. And as that front moves through, our temperatures are going to start to drop throughout the day today. As of right now, from CityCam 8 in La Crosse, things are quiet, a little bit wet out there from the roads here. This morning, 63 degrees is the temperature. North-northwest winds at 6, 54. Now in Eau Claire, partly cloudy skies here with west winds at around 7. Temperatures across the board this morning into the 50s and 60s, but as the day goes on, again, those temperatures are expected to drop into the 40s by noon with a slight chance of some scattered showers still possible. Hey, we may even see some clearing as we head into this afternoon and also into early this evening. I'll be keeping an eye on that here throughout the day. Freeze warnings in effect 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. for all the counties that you see highlighted here, and that's because our temperatures are expected to drop here. You'll notice it on Sky Tracker. After we get through some of those showers through at least 9 o'clock this morning, that's when our temperatures begin to fall here. You'll notice by 2 o'clock this afternoon, a lot of, if not most locations, will be well into the 40s under those partly cloudy conditions. Here's 7 o'clock this evening, and temperatures still fall into the upper 30s by that point. And then by 1 o'clock tonight, once those freeze warnings go into effect, you can see why. We're going to be dropping our temperatures below freezing in many spots out there, which will continue into that 9 o'clock hour here, heading into tomorrow morning with some of those cloudier skies arriving from a disturbance back towards the west, which, by the way, could set off some scattered snow showers for us to work with tomorrow afternoon and also into tomorrow evening. We'll keep our eyes on that potential as well. Here's 6 a.m. on Sunday. I think everything comes to a close, but we're just looking at some lingering cloudy skies, slight chance of a snow shower possible into Sunday as well. We'll keep our eyes on that. Otherwise, just expect a very cold next 8 days here as we head into next week. Highs into the 30s and 40s. Low temperatures also responding to the cold into the 20s and 30s. Stay tuned. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. For now, though, we're sending in a break with a look what happened on this day in history for October 27th. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Morning Blitz. Volleyball teams in action last night for sectional semifinals. Let's get started. We start over in Elroy. Royal and Waniwak Center facing off for the third time this year. First set, Waniwak putting the pressure on the home team. Bryn Ertl smashes it through the Panther D as the Wolves would take set 1. But the Panthers came hunting in the second. Mara Gruen elevates and gets the kill. Royal would win the second set and tie it at 1. To the third we go. Waniwak trying to spoil the party, and here comes Kelsey Justman smacking it down to get the point. The Wolves looking to end the fight. This time it's Ertl again with the tap across the net, and it's out of Royal's reach. The Wolves would take down number 1 Royal and move on to play Columbus Catholic in Cashton on Saturday. In Division 3, the Blue Golds, they were on the road in Stratford. First set, Amy Hine coming up swinging, gets the kill. Blue Golds up early. Stratford not going anywhere. The Tigers get it to fall right in front of Sammy Davis. They answer back, but the Blue Golds would pick up steam, and it starts with Addie Ford. Sends a rocket in for the kill, and then again does it from the right side. The Blue Golds close it out. They get the win 3-1. They'll take on Cuba City on Saturday. Let's go across the river. Minnesota schools starting their volleyball playoffs. We start with Caledonia. Warriors up 2 sets in the third. Logan Kepke adds to their lead with a big kill halfway through the third set. Then Sienna Agadal catches the opponent by surprise. Warriors looking strong. Match point now for the Warriors. Liv Meyer goes up high for the kill. Rochester can't return it. Warriors get the win 3-0. They'll face Winona Carter on Monday. More girls volleyball action at Mabel Canton High School. The Cougars hosting the Houston Hurricanes. First set, Cougars down early, but this spike from Kinley Soini starts to turn things around. And then later, it's Tyler Wenthold adding to the Cougars' 6-point streak. They take the first set, but then the Hurricanes would still a few points back on the Cougars. Avery Kingsley sneaks it past the Cougars defense, but the Cougars, they would run away with it. Soini again throwing down the hammer. They take the set, and they would go on to win 3-1 over Houston. Let's go to the basketball court. Damian Lillard making his official Bucks debut as they host the 76ers. And Dame was hot in the first half. Gets the inbounds, fadeaway jumper, nothing but net. Second quarter, Giannis drawing the triple team, spins and finishes. He would have 23, but the big story of the night was Dame working the pick and roll, bucket, and the foul. 4-point play, Bucks up big at the break. Fourth quarter now. Bucks down 2, Dame wide open. He ain't gonna miss that. Milwaukee now up 1. Then, with just over a minute to go, Bucks up 2, and it's Dame time. Lillard knocks down the step back 3. He would finish with 39 points, 17 of 17 from the free throw line. The Bucks start the season with a win, 118-117. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Welcome back. Multiple Maine communities are still on lockdown this morning as the search continues for Robert Card, the suspect in Wednesday's mass shootings, the deadliest shootings in the state of Maine. 18 people were killed, 13 others injured in the attacks on a Lewiston bowling alley and restaurant. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn is in the town now with the latest.
At least 80 FBI agents, along with Coast Guard members, ATF agents, and local police are involved in the search for suspected gunman Robert Card. Authorities say Card has been charged in connection to Wednesday's deadly shootings at Just-in-Time Recreation Bowling Alley and Shemengi's Bar and Grill in Lewiston, Maine.
He should be considered armed and dangerous. Based on our investigation, we believe this is someone that should not be approached.
Police say the 40-year-old suspect is an Army reservist and expert marksman who was recently hospitalized for mental health issues, including hearing voices.
As investigators search for a motive in these attacks, members of this community are grappling with the sudden and tragic loss of their loved ones.
Arthur Barnard left his oldest son, 42-year-old Arthur Strout, at the bar and grill just minutes before the shooting began. Strout was among those killed.
In the end, he was by himself, no family. Kills you.
Lewiston and other nearby towns have been asked to shelter in place again today. Residents say they hope the suspect is caught soon and brought to justice.
CBS News has learned investigators are looking into whether Card was searching for his current or ex-girlfriend at those two establishments, though it is unclear if that person was at either location at the time of the shootings. The U.S. military, meanwhile, has conducted airstrikes at 2 Iranian-backed militia facilities in eastern Syria this morning. According to Pentagon officials, the airstrike struck a weapon storage facility and an ammunition storage facility. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the airstrikes were an act of self-defense for a string of recent attacks on U.S. forces deployed in Iraq and Syria. This comes after the Pentagon announced yesterday the U.S. would be sending close to 900 more troops to the Middle East. It's unclear if the strikes resulted in any casualties. Wisconsin Senate Democrats are now introducing 2 bills to address gun violence. One bill would implement a 48-hour waiting period on handgun purchases. The other would launch a voluntary self-exclusion program where people could put themselves on a list to make sure they don't get access to a gun. Democrats argue the measures would keep people in crisis from getting a gun. Senate Minority Leader Melissa Agard says, quote, while one policy will not put an end to gun violence, we must start somewhere to enact comprehensive, life-saving changes. We must choose as a society to support policies that save lives. Legislation from Wisconsin Republicans would end consideration of race in college aid programs. Republicans argue that current race-based aid perpetuates stereotypes in higher education. The proposal would modify financial aid and other programs meant to increase minority enrollment and retention. It would instead make those programs available to all disadvantaged students. You may remember earlier this year, the Supreme Court ruled against the use of race in college admissions, deeming the admissions programs at both Harvard University and UNC Chapel Hill unconstitutional. UW-Platteville announced this week they'll lay off more than 100 people. Braden Ross of our sister station, WISC Madison, spoke with Platteville city leaders about how the job cuts may not only affect the university's employees, but how it may also affect the community at large.
This is our family, and today our family is sad.
Thursday, the Platteville community left grieving after one of the city's largest employers announced major workforce cuts.
A big part of the Platteville identity is, of course, our UW. And what we're told through leadership there is they're anticipating about 100 jobs, or 12%, and that is our major employer.
UW-Platteville's new chancellor announced the layoffs on Wednesday amid budget and enrollment woes across the UW system. The move comes less than a month after the permanent closure of the UW-Platteville Richland campus and significant layoffs at UW-Oshkosh.
I kind of worry about how our state will continue to move forward in the many areas that we need to move forward.
Barb Doss is the president of the Common Council in Platteville and a proud UW-Platteville alum herself.
It is a family because you get to know your professors and they become mentors through your life. They become the people who teach you to be a difference maker because they have been difference makers.
She says the cuts are a big hit to the city, but the university's strong ties to the community aren't going anywhere.
The university, the city, our hospital, our public schools, we have worked together very closely over the years. I think you'll see that continue.
And it's those strong community ties that will keep the city and the university moving forward.
We have a strong family. And so I think our family will pull together and that we'll figure this out and that we will take care of each other. And that by taking care of each other, we will take care of our community and our city.
The layoffs are intended to help combat the school's $9 million budget deficit. Now here's Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute.
All right, thanks for that, Alexandra. We are starting off this morning tracking a few showers out there, especially down to the south, Prairie du Chien. We're still looking at some of these moderate to heavy downpours still moving in their way through areas like the Prairie du Chien, Harpers Ferry area, also into Soldiers Grove, Highway 61 into Bosquebel, still moving its way now into Richland County. And if we widen out the view, the rest of us just looking at some spotty showers, otherwise cloudy skies. Everything, though, is moving its way towards the northeast. Current temperatures are into the 50s and 60s, and enjoy it now because the temperatures here will only go down as the day goes on today, with some morning showers possible. And again, those falling temperatures to work with, especially by tonight. We're going to be right at the freezing mark in La Crosse at 32 degrees. Some clouds and northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Your mowing forecast today doesn't look particularly nice, especially early on with those cooler temperatures. And speaking of that, it's only going to get cooler, though, as the day goes on here today. We'll have a final check on your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes.
And before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
That's right. Nolan is hitting 8 months this weekend. He's a happy baby who loves to smile and play with his mom, dad, sister, Ellie, and grandparents.
And Henry is about to turn 8. He enjoys basketball, baseball, and fishing, and is always willing to help his grandparents.
Riker is turning 8 years old. Now he enjoys Minecraft and loves taking dance. And how do you say that again?
Parkour.
Parkour. Okay.
It's kind of like Spider-Man, where they jump off the walls and do a bunch of really cool stuff.
Okay, I'll have to try it. I mean, that sounds like it's an athletic thing to do.
I think so, yeah. Gracie is turning 18. She's a senior at Holman High School who enjoys hanging out with her friends and cousins.
Lois is turning the big 8-0. Her sister Patty wants her to have the best birthday ever. Happy birthday, Lois.
Happy birthday. And if you know someone special turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for that submit page pictures button underneath the home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We'll have Miss Onalaska 2024 and Miss Onalaska's Teen 2024 in studio to talk about their recent crownings.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. We're still watching some light showers across the radar this morning in the Coulee region. This is mainly focused down to the south is where we're seeing some of those heavier showers currently. You can see areas like Gaze Mills into Prairie du Chien, Bosqueville, and also now pushing its way into the Richland Center area this morning, looking at some light rain, some spotty showers near Monroe County and also into eastern Jackson, looking at some Adamangino County as well, looking at some light showers there. The rest of us just mainly spotty showers, kind of hit and miss type of thing. Lots of clouds cover. A lot of cloudy skies moving its way towards the northeast here as well this morning, all associated with this very strong broad trough of low pressure that's in the atmosphere. That's been affecting us here over the last several days, contributing to the cloud cover, the rain showers, just all the gloomy weather that we've been seeing here lately. But you can see that cold front associated with it now currently passing through La Crosse, and that means that we're expecting a big drop in our temperatures over the next several days. Starting as early as this afternoon, I think you'll notice that. Right now, it's a little bit wet out there in La Crosse. Watch out for some of the wet streets here for your morning commute. 61 degrees is the temperature now. North-northwest winds at 18, gusting up to 26, so a little bit windy out there currently. 54 the temperature now in Eau Claire. West winds at around 7 miles an hour. Humidity is a little bit high at 93%. Our current temperatures across the board into the 50s and 60s. We got 65 in Sparta now, 63 in Viroqua and Winona, currently at 55 degrees. So here's what you can expect on the day planner. Look at the temperatures dropping into the 40s by around noon today with some leftover spotty hit and miss type of showers here. Now, it's possible that we could be looking at some sunshine developing as we head into the late afternoon to early evening, so we'll keep our eyes on that potential as well. Otherwise, keep in mind today, too, freeze warnings are going into effect overnight, starting at 1 o'clock tonight and then going until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And that's because our temperatures here are expected to drop quite a bit at the surface. We're going to go from the 50s down into the 20s and 30s. That's after we get through some of the remaining showers and this cold front here this morning. So watch what happens by 2 o'clock. We got that northerly wind here coming in. That's going to send in a lot of cold air to drop our temperatures into the 40s as we head into tonight. By 7 o'clock tonight, temperatures continue to drop into the 30s with some leftover clouds here and there. But the reason why those freeze warnings go into effect is because you can see those temperatures into the 30s below the freezing mark here as we head into early tomorrow morning with some increasing clouds, maybe even leading to some scattered snow showers from our next system here moving in as we head into tomorrow afternoon and then dissipating here as we head into early on Sunday. But with that being said, there's also another chance that we could see a little bit of some light snow on Sunday. We'll keep our eyes on that. But I think the main story, though, is just going to be these temperatures dropping into the upper 30s to low 40s over those next several days, including Halloween Day. So our low temperatures also respond to that, too, into the 20s and 30s. It's going to feel a lot like early winter around here.
All right, Derek, thank you. Well, this morning we have Miss Onalaska 2024, Jordan Butler, and Miss Onalaska's Teen 2024, Ricky Tillotson, in studio with us to talk a little bit about their recent winnings. So congratulations to you ladies, first of all. And just start by telling us a little bit about these pageants.
Yeah, well, last Saturday we were very fortunate to win Miss Onalaska. Miss Onalaska's teen, excuse me, not outstanding anymore, just teen. And a lot of people don't realize what all goes into the competition. We have a private interview with the judges. We compete in fitness with Rebel Athletic. We do talent, on-stage question, and evening gown. So it's a lot more. And then obviously the 365 days that we have to serve the Onalaska community are much more than just the night's competition.
Well, it's definitely great to see you both again this morning. And don't worry, I'm not going to ask any more competition questions because for those viewers that don't know, I was actually one of the judges on the panel here and at Onalaska High School. So I can only imagine the experience that you both were going through. Can you talk about that whole process of what went into prepping and everything like that?
Yeah, I think it was so special for us to get to have rehearsals and really get to know the girls and really make it, you know, about a sisterhood. And as cliche as that sounds, it is so true that you get to know each other and you really get to support each other through the process.
It was such a blast. Everybody was so kind. It was an amazing experience.
That's great. And so how many pageants have you guys each competed in?
That was my first one ever. So I walked in there not knowing much about it, but it was so much fun. When I first started that first meeting, I was like, this is amazing. I don't know why I haven't been doing this my whole life. So it was so amazing. But yeah, that was my first time ever doing something like that.
Wow, that's great. And you won on your first one, so big congrats to you.
Well, Ricky, you won the Spirit of Miss America Scholarship this year, so first of all, congratulations. But can you talk a little bit about what that is for people that may not know?
So that's an award actually voted on by the girls.
Yeah.
So honestly, when I was first walking into that, I didn't really understand what it meant, but it's actually just representing the Miss America program, the kindness and everything that goes into it. And it was such an honor to win that, especially since it was my first time. And I'm glad I made such an impact.
Yeah.
That's great. So tell us about your favorite part about pageants.
I would say the self-confidence that you gain. So I started competing as a teen, could barely speak in front of a classroom for a school presentation, and I'm truly a product of this organization. I have learned networking skills. I wouldn't be in the position I'm in my career if it wasn't for the Miss America opportunity. And obviously the scholarships don't hurt as well to help furthering our education.
Of course, yeah, that's great. What about your favorite part?
Just meeting all sorts of new people. I mean, my directors, the girls I met, they're so kind. I just can't get over that. It was just so much fun meeting all the people. And I continue to meet more every single day that I would have never experienced outside of this. So it was just so fun.
What kind of advice would you give future contestants who are interested in going to the, Miss or Miss Teen?
I would say to just go for it, have fun. Everyone has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You don't have to come with any experience, as Ricky.
Just give it a shot.
Just give it a shot and go for it. You'll never know what you may gain from the opportunity.
And can you tell us a little bit about the responsibilities you have as you hold these titles?
Yeah, so we will be representing the Onalaska community this year through different events in the community. Community service is a very large impact. So representing our own community service initiatives that we can promote throughout the year, as well as the organization's national platform of the American Heart Association. And then we both will compete for Miss Wisconsin and Miss Wisconsin's Teen this coming June.
Okay, very exciting. And what made you want to get into pageants?
So me personally, I had a friend that just recommended, she thought it would be such a good experience for me. I mean, it teaches me leadership, it teaches me all these amazing qualities. So I was like, I'll always try something once and see how it goes. So, I mean, honestly, I just was put in there and I gave it a shot, see how I felt, just to see if I enjoyed it, and I did. Every single moment was such a blast. So, and that's why I continued, honestly. It was just kind of random.
Yeah, that's great. All right, well, congratulations again, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. And stay with us. We will be right back. A man wanted for a violent home invasion earlier this month is now in custody. According to officials from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, Anthony Sylvester IV was taken into custody yesterday afternoon. He's accused of a home invasion in the village of Hickston back on October 12th. He allegedly had a firearm and stabbed a person that was inside of that home. This story is still developing. Jackson County officials expect to release more details soon. We will update you as soon as they do. A former Menominee School District staff member is accused of having sex with a student. 22-year-old Quinton Williams faces 3 felony counts of sexual assault of a student. He's held on a $5,000 cash bond and cannot have any contact with the 16-year-old victim. He also can't have unsupervised contact with anybody under the age of 18 and is banned from school property. A man accused of firing at police won't be heading to trial anytime soon. The defense attorney for Curtis Ross has asked for more time to review video before a trial date is set. A judge approved that request and set another status hearing for February 29th. Ross was sentenced to nearly 7 years last September for drug and gun convictions. Police say earlier that year, Ross stole his girlfriend's truck and fired a gun at a squad car. When they arrested him, police found a gun, cash, and drugs on him. Wisconsin Senate Democrats are now introducing 2 bills to address gun violence. One bill would implement a 48-hour waiting period on handgun purchases. The other would launch a voluntary self-exclusion program where people could put themselves on a list to make sure they don't get access to a gun. Democrats argue the measures would keep individuals in crisis from getting a gun. Senate Minority Leader Melissa Agard says, quote, while one policy will not put an end to violence, we must start somewhere to enact comprehensive life-saving changes. We must choose as a society to support policies that save lives. And legislation from Wisconsin Republicans would end consideration of race in college aid programs. Republicans argue that current race-based aid perpetuates stereotypes in higher education. The proposal would modify financial aid and other programs meant to increase minority enrollment and retention. It would instead make those programs available to all disadvantaged students. The bill specifies that a student's race, along with other factors like gender, sexual orientation, and religion, may not be considered. Community business leaders flocked to the Reinhardt Center at Viterbo University to learn more about diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Greater La Crosse Area Diversity Council, or GLADC, held its 12th annual conference yesterday. This year's theme is fostering inclusive leadership and wellness. The conference featured multiple lectures and a panel discussion with local leaders, including La Crosse Mayor Mitch Reynolds. GLADC's executive director says a diverse workplace is the key to a successful business.
It's important that leaders are aware of how they want to lead and how we can diversify the workplaces in the La Crosse area.
One of the key takeaways from the conference was how each person in the workplace is responsible for creating an effective and equitable place to work. To learn more on how you can become a member of GLADC, you can visit our website, news8000.com. Happening today, the Tomah VA Medical Center will host a trunk or treat from 1 until 2:30 this afternoon. The free event will be held in the parking lot between buildings 455 and 405 off of 4th Street in Tomah. The VA encourages everyone who attends to dress up in their best costumes.
And as you head out the door this morning, temperatures are into the 50s, but our temperatures, though, will drop throughout the day into the 40s as we head into this afternoon. At the same time, there's a chance that we could see some sun. Hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. West-northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour, making things a little breezy, but also chilly. I check on that 8-day forecast. The clouds will return, though. I can promise you that for tomorrow, with a chance of seeing some snow, maybe even lingering into Sunday as well. But look at those highs into the 30s and 40s next week, Alexandria. It's going to feel a lot like early winter.
Yeah, the chill is approaching. But
Yeah.
for the snow, it's going to be more of a dusting, right? Not like a full dumping or anything.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to really accumulate much.
Okay.
The ground temperatures may not be favorable for that. We'll have to see what the atmospheric environmental temperatures look like for snow. But I think there's a chance, though, we could see some of the white stuff falling down. So
wow, all right,
yeah.
First one of the season.
Yeah, first one.
Just in time for the weekend and then just in time for Halloween, too, huh?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely recommend bundling up on Halloween Day.
For sure.
Trick-or-treating, it's definitely going to be a little cool out there.
Yes, yes. So bring out those warm costumes, those parkas, whatever you can find to keep the kids warm.
I haven't worn a parka in forever.
I know, right? Or even said the term.
Exactly, that too.
Well, I'll have to dig them out.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for watching News 8 Now this morning. We will see you back here at noon and then tonight at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great day.